New Jersey's former top law enforcement leader took the stand today at Senator Bob Menendez's federal corruption trial. Former Attorney General Gurbir Grewal testified about phone calls and a meeting he took with the senior senator back in 2019, in which prosecutors allege Menendez tried to interfere with an insurance fraud case involving Jose Uribe. He's one of the three businessmen indicted in the bribery scheme. Uribe pleaded guilty and is expected to be a star witness for the prosecution. Grewal is the most prominent official to testify against Menendez so far. Today, he offered key details about the direct conversations they had and what exactly the senator asked from him. Senior correspondent Brenda Flanagan has been in the Manhattan courtroom for us all day and joins us live with the latest. Brenda, what can you tell us?
Well, Brianna, we got some very eye-opening testimony today from former New Jersey Attorney General Gurbir Grewal. He testified that he twice refused to discuss a specific criminal fraud case at the request of Senator Bob Menendez. He says Menendez asked him twice in a phone call and also in a face-to-face meeting. The prosecution says that they're trying to prove that Menendez was using his political influence to help friends of Menendez's then-girlfriend Nadine, and that they were essentially trying to interfere with a prosecution, a case out of the AG's office that was looking into insurance fraud in the trucking industry in New Jersey, and this was at a request of Jose Uribe. Brianna?
So, Brenda, how exactly did Menendez pose this question? Did it give grounds for a quid pro quo?
Well, he was asked if there was a specific request, and Grewal said, quote, there was not an explicit ask. But he did say that Menendez told him he was concerned about how Hispanics versus non-Hispanic defendants were being treated by the prosecutors in the Attorney General's office who were investigating cases in the trucking industry. And Grewal asked, well, is this about a specific case? And Menendez said, well, yes, it is. That's when Grewal shut it down, and he told Menendez, I can't talk to you about this. And he advised Menendez to essentially let the defense attorneys in the case handle it, but that he wasn't going to talk about it, Brianna.
Did Grewal, though, ever relay that information to any of his staff?
He said no, he didn't. He had a policy that he was not going to ever mention this to his team. He said he needed to insulate them from any kind of outside influence, and that he made it a point not to ask them. He said when he refused Menendez that the senator took it calmly and said absolutely nothing about it.
I'm guessing, Bren, that the defense got an opportunity for cross-examination today. How did they play this?
Well, the defense argued that Menendez was not really in any position to do anything for Grewal, and so there really wasn't evidence of a quid pro quo. But let's talk about what happened after this case. The fraud case at Point ended in a plea deal, and it was obvious, according to some text messages, that Jose Uribe realized and knew that Menendez was at least reaching out, meeting, trying to make some, I don't want to use the word interference, but influence in the case. Now, just as a matter of coincidence, according to the prosecution, not coincidence, Jose Uribe's financed a brand new $60,000 Mercedes-Benz for Nadine Menendez. And that's the quid pro quo, according to the prosecution. Now, here's where it gets very interesting, because Jose Uribe, who was a co-defendant in this case and pleaded guilty, he flipped. He pleaded guilty, and now he's going to testify. And he's going to tell the jury it was indeed a quid pro quo. This was a bribe. Brianna?
Hey, Bren, very quickly, did Menendez and Grewal exchange any words when he entered the courtroom? Of course, the two served for a long time in state and, federal capacities.
If they locked eyes, I didn't see it, and I didn't see them speak a word to each other.
A cold courtroom, a rainy day. Brenda Flanagan for us in Manhattan. Bren, thanks so much.